One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Here's a fucking weekly recap.
Yes. Okay, week 10. Back to the races. Everybody is racing. I don't know. I didn't think about what metaphor I wanted to use prior to starting this. It's my bad. Hold on. All right. Welcome to Fantasy Football Week 10. Back to the regular old videos. I know how much you guys loved last week's video, all the Game of Thrones references, and it was just a fun time for all of us. It was a fun time, and maybe one day we can do videos like that again, but I think we have to get back to our roots and let everyone know what's going on in standings and blah 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 blah, things that matter less than all of those other things. Jokes, y'all hate it. Let's get into it. Last week's matchups. The Funny Beats lost big time to the Crunktown Stomp-Womps, 120 to 41.5. McCarthy on Your Face won over the Squeakers, 137 to 116. You talking about Dicka lost 70.5 to River Manor Swamp Dogs, who are now in first place, 101.5. Chainsaw Pandas with their third loss in a row, 94 to 128. The Shut Up Dylans with the one win they really wanted this year, now 3-6, but probably out of the playoff contention. But but Mark beat Dylan, so I think he'll be okay with it. And Team Big Pebs 103.5 beats the Bengals 76.5. Now on to the standings. We got two people at 7 and 2. That would be the River Manor Swamp Dogs and the Team Big Pebbles. River Manor Swamp Dogs have more points though, 4, and by more points I mean over 200 more points. 4. So right now Ryan Gentner is in first place. Second place is Elliot. And third place is McCarthy on Your Face. Kate/Chris. And I know you guys liked this last time, so we are going to do actual standings. The standings if they were only based on the amount of points for. The actual standings would be G is in first place, so he's in first place in actual and in reality. Kate/Chris in second, Football Abby in third, JR in fourth, Mike in fifth, Dylan in sixth, I'm in seventh, Danielle is in eighth, Mark is in ninth, and Elliot, our second place, currently in reality, second place human being, would be in last place still. Complete insanity. Football insanity. Let's go to the waiver wire / the trade wire now, because we made some trades and there was some bloodshed. I'll get into it. This morning at 3:30 a.m. Oh, it changes because of the time change. It used to be 4:30 a.m. where the waivers go through. Words. Used to be 4:30 a.m., but it is now 3:30 a.m. Apparently daylight savings has something to do with waiver wires. Sear Dylan back from Asia. Added the Cowboys, dropped the Chiefs, added the Carson Palmer, the quarterback, who's projected to do better, dropped Bishop Sankey, who I hated from the beginning of the year. Squeakers added Mike Evans, dropped Pierre Thomas. Forgotti added Adrian Peterson, dropped Reggie Bush. He added Adrian Peterson, who yesterday said that he definitely did abuse his kid, or at least he's trying to get a plea deal, and out of the plea deal he's like, yeah, I hit him. I mean, obviously the marks are there, but I do not think he's going to play this season. I think he will come back and he'll be allowed to play, but Roger Goodell he'll probably give him a suspension that takes into account time served. Like he's been paid, by the way. Adrian Peterson has been not suspended, so he's been paid all of his game checks the past few weeks or whatever, 2 months. So he will most likely get a extended suspension all the way through the season and have to give all of his game checks that he's already gotten back. That's my guess on the subject. I don't think he's playing, but more so than that, JR, you dropped Reggie Bush to get Adrian Peterson. You dropped Reggie Bush, who has been doing absolutely nothing, but that's super sad for you because you were really high on Reggie Bush at the beginning of the year, and now you just dropped him for a person who most likely won't play. So just a little bit of flailing on Reggie Bush, Adrian Peterson. JR is going for it, though. He's going for the jugular, and he hopes for the best. I dropped the Bengals, added the Ravens. Abigail dropped Zach Ertz and got Mikael Rivera. Kate/Chris got the Falcons. Abigail added Bobby Rainey, dropped the Browns. I dropped Monte Ball, added Heath Miller, and the Gibbs added Patrick Murray and Jonas Gray. And all of that stuff. That was all that stuff. Okay, now to the thing. So there were trades last week, and we have not ever done trades. And I think we got to the bottom of it, how we actually want to do it, which is how we actually want to do it is basically the way that it is now, where 4 people need to veto a trade before it goes away, unless I veto the trade. If the LM vetoes the trade, it just goes away. And like I explained last week, the reason I vetoed the Kirk Cousins for Tom Brady trade is because Kirk Cousins is now probably the 3rd quarterback on the Redskins, because RG3 just came back, and Tom Brady is one of the, if not the greatest quarterback of this generation, so it was not an even trade. They fixed that by doing Ben Roethlisberger for Tom Brady, kind of to Mark's dismay, although he got Tom Brady. Tom Brady's doing very well, but Ben Roethlisberger just did something that only no quarterback has ever done in NFL history, and in the past 2 weeks has thrown 12 touchdowns, 6 last week, 6 this week. He literally gained more points as a quarterback in 2 weeks time span in half-point PPR, although it doesn't matter for quarterbacks, fantasy football, that's ever happened. And we had a big old trade discussion about how trade should work, and really it ended up being that he traded away Ben Roethlisberger, which is fine because you get Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's doing very well. He's on the best team in the NFL currently, just beating the Denver Broncos. But it all kind of comes down to that if you're doing a trade, it has to be at least kind of equal. If you're not doing a trade, you might as well just do a waiver, drop an ad. And that's the way it is currently. If y'all want to change it, y'all let me know. But honestly, I think it's pretty good because you did some trades. Other people did some trades. Not really other people. Y'all did some trades that made sense. Other trades that happened was Vergatti traded Odell Beckham Jr. For fuck you Dylan's Bernard Pierce, which Odell Beckham Jr. had a good game, and he looks like he's probably going to be the second option on that New York Giants offense. And if they get someone back, if they get Victor Cruz back, then Odell Beckham Jr. can absolutely become a weapon, a 10-plus point wide receiver every week, hopefully. There were some defenses traded, but I mean, mostly it was Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger. It was mostly that trade. Oh, and a fun little drop was that Mark finally got rid of Toby Gerhart, who I absolutely hated from the beginning. He is sadly, it's being found out now that Toby Gerhart is not the reason. The Jaguars' offense is not the reason Toby Gerhart sucks. Toby Gerhart kind of sucks because Toby Gerhart sucks. Denard Robinson is doing very well as in a horrific, benign offense that is Jacksonville Jaguars. But Denard Robinson, who I saw play live in college, Denard was a quarterback at Michigan, and I got to see him live, but he was drafted as an athlete. They didn't know what they were going to do with him. He could have been a wide receiver, or he could have been a running back, or he could have been a linebacker. He could have been a whole lot of things. Jaguars decided to put him in at running back, and he's absolutely incredible. He's very, very good with a terrible, terrible offensive line. He's going to do okay. So Toby Gerhart obviously just sucks to suck for sucking's sake, and he is finally gone. Bam! Holy crap. That was a transaction, like the longest transaction thing I've ever done. We never do transactions. Jesus Christ. And just one more thing on kind of on that note, Dylan is back from Asia. He's back from Thailand and the Philippines and all the places where he went. But more importantly, as Dylan was in Asia, it was 0-3 for fantasy football, which could be probably Wi-Fi's fault. But he is now 5-4. But everybody watch out. Dylan is now back in the United States of America. I'm sure he's not going to go to like work and do work things. He's most likely just going to focus 100% of his time on winning in fantasy football. So I don't know who has him this week. It's G. Oh, actually, it's G. So good luck to you, G. I look forward to seeing how a new, refreshed, jet-lagged Dylan does against you in the Battle Dome. I don't know. It's a Battle Dome. I'm going to say Battle Dome. So welcome back, Dylan. You were 0-3. See how it goes. And finally, that brings us to this week's matchups. The Squeakers versus the Crunktown Stomp-Bombs. Both of us 4-5. Both of us very much still in the race. 4-5 can absolutely get into the playoffs right now because of what happened to Dylan the past 3 weeks. And just how the top has sort of fallen to the middle most of the time, or mostly. So that's a big matchup. The person who wins that matchup has a very, very good chance of getting into the bottom ring of the playoffs. River Manor Swamp Dog 7-2 versus the newly renewed 5-4 Chainsaw Pandas. And you talked about Dicka, 4-5 versus the McCarthy on your faces, Kate/Chris, 5-4. The shut up Dylan's coming off his big win against Dylan, is now 3-6, going up against the juggernaut that is the non-point scoring Elliott Smith at 7-2, and the funny beats at 4-5 versus the Bengals 2-7, which I do have to say for one moment, Danielle has been doing a really good job. Danielle has been. There are a bunch of games Danielle should have won that it just came down to that she was facing someone who got an exorbitant amount of points for a week, where it's happened so many times where she absolutely should have won and is at 2-7. Danielle's team is not a 2-7 team. If you're going up against Danielle within the next few weeks, understand that you're not facing a 2-7 team. You're basically facing like a 5-4 team that is at 2-7 and should be at 5-4. Now to predictions. Doing the predictions. Funny little story. Dylan really liked the predictions part of 2 weeks ago's video and took like an hour to load a video in Asia last week, the one I did with no predictions whatsoever, and he got real mad because I didn't do them and it took him an hour to load, which it was a little funny for me, but on the same kind of it was funny, but at the same time I too wish I sort of did the predictions live. Wait, hold on, I did actually do predictions last week, and if I can find them, let's see how my predictions held up last week. I had me over Mike, and that happened. I had Abby over Kate. That was wrong. Kate won. I had JR over G-Baby. That was wrong. I had Dylan over Mark. That was wrong. I had Danielle Elliott. I did not make a prediction because it was going to be super weird, and it was a blowout by Elliott. So take these predictions with a grain of salt because apparently I suck at them. This week, Squeakers versus Crunktown. I cannot pick against myself. I'm going to choose the Crunktown Stamp Rams against the Rangers. River Manor Swamp Dogs versus the Chainsaw Pandas. I have a renewed Dylan coming in here. I think Dylan's going to win this one. He's 0-3. He's not bound, but he's due for a win. So I have Dylan winning that matchup. JR versus Kate. Kate is sort of on a tear right now. And JR, I think, is in bye week hell. Let me go check it out. Yes, he is. He is in bye week hell this week. So I have Kate winning that matchup. Shut up Dylan versus the Team Big Pebs. Elliott keeps having stupid ways to win games. So I'm going to pick Elliott just because he keeps not getting points and keeps winning games. And then the Funny Beats versus the Bengals. I so badly. You know what? I picked Danielle. I think Danielle's going to finally pull a win out this week but who knows? If me giving Danielle the win this week, most likely now Mike is going to beat her 160-40. So good luck to all of y'all. And that is it. It's week 10. We are in the final stretches prior to the playoffs. It matters more now than ever that you don't do like a paper for school and don't put in all of your players and leave 5 people on the bye weekend. Mike did that last week, although he has his priorities straight. And did the paper instead and let me win by a lot. But I guess do the papers for school and do your work. Do all of that like right after you set your lineup, maybe like directly after it, and everything will be totally fine. Because this is week 10 and we are getting into the shit, guys. We have 4 more weeks. Yes. We have 4 more weeks of the regular season. 4 more wins or 4 more losses that you can get, and then it goes to the playoffs, and the playoffs are an interesting thing. I don't know off the top of my head what they are. I know I changed them, and I would recommend that you guys go and look exactly at what the playoffs are. I believe they're a 2-week system. You do not get 2 games against somebody. So it's important to go into the playoffs strong. Yep, there are 3 rounds to the playoffs. So 14, 15, 16. The 16th week is the finals. Blah, 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 blah. Nope, I'm not sorry for anything. Week 10. Coming at your faces. Bring a towel. That was disgusting. Okay, bye.